did the name of the VW bus dragster come from? Mental breakdown.
Breakdown. Well, unusually, I didn't name it. I name all my cars. And when I started building it, I said to a friend, I'm going to build this VW truck, which I kind of ended up with. It was absolute scrap originally. And I said, I'm going to do it in the style of a recovery truck, or a breakdown truck, which is why it's got the flashing light on the roof and a little hook on the back and all that. He said, that'll be mental. You should call it mental breakdown. So that, and it was as simple as that.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to a new edition of the Talking About Cars podcast with me, Randy Cardoon, the podcast featuring the one, the only Hot Rod Bob Beck, because everybody has a car story. In studio once again for this one, we're talking cars. We're going to talk about drag racing and fabrication with a guest from the other side of the pond, because Bob went to the other side of the pond.
I did.
Yeah, he was a voice guy. He was doing PA for Santa Pod. For those of you who are in Europe, you know where that is. It's a drag race place. It's actually in England proper, Bob. Is that where that is?
Well, yeah, it's part of the UK. It's just about an hour, I believe it is, away from London.
Okay.
So it's out in the countryside. It was an ex-airfield during World War II. It is huge. It is flat. It is beautiful. And they hold a number of different auto events there, not just drag racing, although drag racing is what I was there for. But they have all sorts of other events, Volkswagen events. I was there one time when they had a BMW event, and the guys were turning right and left on purpose, which, it's a good thing to do. And now let's bring on our guest from the United Kingdom, a car fabricator extraordinaire and drag racer. He drives the Mental Breakdown Volkswagen, and he's going to explain that to us. Wayne Allman.
And there he is, ladies and gentlemen, joining us on the show. Wayne Allman on the program, all the way from England, the UK. Dare I even call it Blighty? You're right there. I don't know. Is Blighty an actual word? I think Aunt Anstead once said that on a post. Yeah, but it fits, right? I'm not like insulting everybody in England now.
No.
They don't know what you said.
Good. I just want to make sure I don't start off completely on the wrong foot.
Well, the English are very good at taking insults. We find it funny. So,
yeah.
Wait a minute. Did I just?
We just don't understand them. That's all.
Yes, exactly. We just hear other people do it and just blindly follow them. That's what it's like to be an American.
Smile and nod. Smile and nod.
Well, welcome to the program anyway. Let's talk a little bit about you and how you have so many things going on. You have the place where you do work on cars, and I love this. It's called Intergalactic Custom Shop. Now, yes. Are you a Doctor Who fan, or how did that all come about?
It was a long time ago. It's the 25th year of the Intergalactic Custom Shop this year, and I wanted to make it obvious what I was doing, out of this world cars. That's what I was aiming at. I said Intergalactic Custom Shop, and it kind of, as a joke mainly, and it stuck. A friend printed me my first set of business cards, and that was that.
Nice.
That was it. Now, do you have any formal automotive construction training?
I did. No, not really. I did a time-served apprenticeship, in a garage doing just general car repairs, and we built our own sort of recovery vehicles and stuff. So, I was fabricating things. I'd previously started a silversmith apprenticeship, which didn't last very long, but the garage decided, because I'd been a silversmith for a very short space of time, that I was a panel beater. So they said, straighten out that car. So I straightened out that car, and then they said, well, as you're a panel beater, you're also a painter, so paint that car. So I was 15 or 16 at this time, and I had to sort of work out this stuff and ask people and so on, and basically taught myself how to paint cars.
Yeah, you're self-taught, and you do extremely well. Bob Moranis, known as Floyd Lippincott, who drove the freight train, and I were hovering around your VW, and the craftsmanship in the chassis alone, and then the paint and bodywork on top of that was amazing. As if you would, uh, I would put you up there with some of the top builders we know here in the States because your car is amazing.
I mean, I was 15 a very long time ago. You know, that was 40, nearly 42 years ago. I was one of those kids that took my bicycles apart, rebuilt them, added stuff. You know, I painted my model toys. My mum actually dug up in the garden, a little model toy that was my first flamed paint job, and it's in the workshop now.
Oh. Matchbox?
Yeah, I think it is a Matchbox.
Randy's a Matchbox collector.
Yeah, I'm a Matchbox nut. I have been since I was a kid. In fact, I can't really pick it up. I got a display case right here, and it's full of way too many of the older ones. I'm not a big Hot Wheels kind of guy in that sense, but as far as the design of the original ones with the original metal wheels and all that, that was fascinating to me because it was like, wow, some of them are US cars, but for the most part, they were English. And I had never seen any of these cars before. And I just thought they would look really cool when I was a kid.
Yeah.
What do you remember what kind of Matchbox car it was? It was your first
I think it might have been a Ford Transit van, which is you didn't. I don't think you got those over there. I mean, it's funny. You love our little cars, and we love your huge cars.
Yeah, you know, and we've talked about that. The preface things. Wayne and I kind of met on Facebook because of the amazing Volkswagen that we're going to be talking about and show pictures a little bit later on.
Right.
But we finally met in person when I was over at Centipod just a weeks ago, and you know, it's great. You're an amazing person, very personable. We kind of struck it off pretty well, I think, right off the bat, and got to hover, and I mean hover, around your Volkswagen because it is just an amazing piece of engineering, from the chassis to the engine and I mean, it's a Hemi, and it's in a Chrysler Hemi in the UK. You run it through a Lenco transmission. The truck or van or bus, whatever you would like to call it, ran, I think your best run when I was there was 702 at 199 miles an hour.
Yeah.
It's a brick.
Yeah. Yeah.
And,
I mean, it's funny because even though my Keith Black, it's never been in anything else. It's Mental Breakdown's engine. You know, there's nothing quite as secondhand as a secondhand race part. So, going through a few Hemi blocks that were just junk, I phoned up Keith Black Racing Engines, and this is when Ken Black was running it. And I asked how much a block was, a stage 7 with a raised cam, with liners, studs, nuts, fasteners, timing set, the whole lot. And at the time, the pound was really strong against the dollar. I mean, it's not anymore. And it was nearly 2 to 1, which made it affordable. And so I ended up buying a brand new block from Keith Black Racing Engines. Which
how long have you had that?
Probably about 18 years, something like that. 17 or 18.
Okay, so it's seasoned now.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, seasoned now. How many runs have you had with it, do you think? I mean, is there a way to estimate how many times you've used that engine in that quote unquote racing van to how many times did you run it?
We don't run it very often. Because I work long hours, you know, I work by myself. All my crew are, you know, they have jobs and lives and everything. I realized that, you know, I haven't got the money or time to do championship stuff because believe it or not, my bus is fully legal. It's got an SFI spec on the chassis and everything. But we'd rather, it's just me and a bunch of mates. We get together, we go out to some events we like, and we just have some fun, you know, and it keeps the racing affordable.
And go.
I could see that going through London, and yeah. Sure.
Yeah, make a turn on that.
We wouldn't survive our potholes. That's the trouble.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we got the same situation. I think everyone does.
Mm.
You know, the cities and counties never seem to have enough money to fix the road properly.
No, it's the last thing on everybody's minds as far
Yeah,
as
and the
they're.
other thing too, you've got very low ground clearance. You cut bottom of the nose of the bus,
Yeah,
and it's still what 3, 4 inches off the ground.
it's 3 inches, which is minimum for drag racing. Um, I'd cut basically what would be the rockers off it and where the front bumper would go. I gave it an 8-inch roof chop. So the windows are approximately half the size they used to be. Because it's funny, all other split screens now look surprised to me because they're all like really sort of,
Yeah,
wide-eyed.
tall. Yeah. Okay. And now you've got amazing skill. So you've got natural talent. You've learned how to do these things, and you sent me pictures of, well, I guess it's an Anglia panel that you're building,
Yeah,
but it's all aluminum, and it looks like it came from the factory.
it came from a very small factory, my little factory.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I,
no, this is the second car that I've built for the guy that owns it, a guy called Dave Sidaway. And the previous one was also an Anglia van, but it was a steel car. But they're over here, they're all rotten and they're very expensive. And when he decided he needed a new car because the engine was running out of car, basically, the old car wasn't built to go as fast as it ended up going, like a lot of
oh,
cars. And we decided let's build a chrome molly car, chrome molly chassis. Couldn't find a body, and we wanted to change the proportions anyway. So I said I may as well just make one, which I kind of regret saying sometimes because building a car from scratch isn't all that easy on your own.
Well, that means you
but
have to do a lot of chopping and slicing and doing all sorts of other things to get what you really want. And how hard was that?
Well, I mean, starting with just a load of tube and some flat sheets. That's how the car started, and now it kind of looks like a Fordson, but it's chopped, it's sectioned, it's stretched. It's
what, the accuracy of the lines is what amazes me. And I'm looking at the pictures, but there's no hammer marks that I can see. Body is perfectly smooth. The shapes is like it came off a Ford stamping press.
Yeah, it's close, but I mean, once I started building it, Dave decided he wanted to run it in bare aluminium or aluminum,
Yeah,
which means I've got to get it right
yeah.
because, excuse me, if it was going to be painted, there could be a few little bits and bobs here, but as it's going to be running bare metal, it's got to be pretty close.
Wow. Bare metal. That is going to be amazing. Is he going to polish it or just leave it raw aluminum?
Leave it raw. Just I think I'm going to brush it with like Scotch Brite or something like that, just so it's doesn't dazzle anybody.
All right, you built your bus. You're doing this Anglia. You've been in business now. You said what, 25 years?
25 years this year.
What are some of the vehicles you built that have gained some prominence for you? Because, like I said, the workmanship I'm seeing on the Anglia is just amazing, and seeing your bus in person, uh, it's beautiful. It, I you know I kind of wish you could bring it over here sometime and dazzle the crowds here.
Yeah, it's a lot of money to go over there, and obviously I'm not a millionaire. I can't afford a haircut.
Yeah,
Um,
well, we'll have to share pictures of hair links sometime.
yeah,
Yeah, uh,
yeah. So,
yeah,
there's a,
yeah.
I'm
Mine's
going
never gotten that long, but
When was the
we got
last
some
time
crazy
you had?
pictures.
When was the last time you had a short haircut?
probably about 35 years ago. I
There you
accidentally.
go. See, this is his style. This is
Works.
definitely Wayne, you know?
Yeah, at this point, no one would recognize you if you got a haircut.
That's true.
I got it cut because I actually set it on fire welding by accident,
That
and
could be a problem. Yeah.
it was a massive problem because it only took one side of it off. So I had to have a grade 2 to level it up. Yeah, it's the only time in my life I've ever had a buzz cut, and
A buzz cut.
I
Oh,
I
geez.
look like I've got the wrong head on.
Yeah, I was watching one of those videos once where somebody would go to I don't know, Vietnam or something like that to get a haircut. And somebody would sit there and literally take like a flamethrower and trim the edges with fire.
Mm.
No
This
thanks.
is, yeah, I was gonna say I'd probably not rather do that. That hasn't
Yeah.
quite come here to the US yet, but there are barbers who know what and you know, if you're a barber, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's something you can do.
Yeah. Wayne, how many cars have you actually constructed?
Constructed.
Yeah,
I
built.
haven't, to be honest. I mean, I've been involved in a lot of really cool projects. Have you heard of a car called Red Victor 3?
No.
Mhm.
I think it still is the fastest street car in the quarter mile in the world.
Oh.
Around a five, I'm guessing 560 something or other, fully
Mhm.
street legal. A few years ago now, but it's based on a Vauxhall Victor. Vauxhall was a division of General Motors
Yep.
over here, and they only did them as a four-door sedan. So my job was to turn it into a two-door coupe.
Oh.
So I tried to do it as if Vauxhall had made a muscle car, and it kind of looked somewhere between a Camaro and a Cuda and a Vauxhall. It was like but you know, a two-doored it, chopped it, stretched it, couped it.
Cool.
There is a time-lapse video on YouTube of it. Oh, you have
I
seen
was sitting there looking at it going, well, it looks like the front end of a Chevy. Yeah, okay, a small one, but yeah, that actually is very good video. I like that and how you chopped it up and did all sorts of things to the quarter panels and all that.
Was it a mid-50s body?
60, mid-60s,
Mid
66.
sixties. Okay. I can remember seeing we didn't get many Vauxhalls over here. If they came over, they were privately imported. But I can remember seeing my neighbor had a 1956 or 57 because I've been a car nut as long as I can remember.
Mhm.
And I looked at the car and I go, "Wow, that's different than Vauxhall. What the heck's that?" I was like 10 years old, 11 years old, and he went around it and told me all about it. He was a serviceman who had imported it when he came back. And I thought it was neat. It had a lot of features that were similar to the US 50 Chevrolets.
Yeah. Was
But
it a PA Tester or something like that?
yeah, and if memory serves me, it was a station wagon too,
Right.
or a
I think
state.
they
So
had one of those. Yeah.
yeah, so
We had neighbors in LA that we lived at. We lived in an apartment up above and downstairs they owned a 59 Vauxhall Victor. And and you're right. Apparently I read somewhere that it was supposedly designed to have a lot of attributes to a 55 Chevy.
Hmm.
A lot of the way the windows were and all the other stuff. And it was fascinating because you know you looked at that car and you just didn't see them, especially in LA growing up. I mean,
yeah,
that was interesting.
yeah. I just remember like you and I spoke when we were together over in Britain. The British cars have always been something loved. I have a soft spot in my head for them,
Yeah.
and I paid attention to things like that, and I just enjoyed them. We talked about Hot Wheels. I had Hot Wheels as a kid too, or not Hot Wheels,
Matchbox.
Matchbox, and they were all British cars.
Yeah.
So here I am, 6, 7, 8 years old, and my dad realized he's not going to get the car bug out of me, so he would get me these little Matchbox cars, and I saved them in the box. Where they are now, I have no idea, but I'd always save them in the box and put them back in the correct box and kept them in order and so forth. And yeah, they were all vehicles we didn't have over here.
Mhm.
Yeah. Back in the
Quite
garage,
interesting.
all I do is cars, you know, weekends, nights. Um, I've got quite a few of my own cars, which are mainly American. I've got a 40 Mercury that I've chopped, which that's going to be, you know, that's a full custom, or it will be when it's finished. I've got a 28 Model A on Hallibrands and spindle mounts with a
Oh,
small block.
good.
You know, all sorts of stuff.
Well, that's cool.
Man after my own heart. There we go.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, well,
So,
I'm the same way. Randy's kind of the outcast. He only has 3 cars.
oh yeah, I feel so deprived right now.
Yeah.
But they're mostly in the shop anyway, so it doesn't really matter. You know, try and do what I can, and then I go, okay, I'm smarter than this. I'm so smart. I'm going to let somebody else fix it. Okay, got it. All right, go ahead. Mhm.
I think a lot of the time that is the smart way.
Yeah. Well, my wife's decided that it has to be for me because we have too many divots in the cement from tools being thrown. So
Uh-huh.
something needs to get fixed, it goes to someone to get fixed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
So,
let's put it this way. I'm a mechanic to the point where if I have to fix it and I try to fix it, it's going to end up with somebody fixing it anyway. So I just figure let's just cut out the middleman, me, and just go straight and get it taken care of. So,
And they charge more once you screwed it up.
they do, especially when you tell them that story. Well, I thought all I had to do was this. And they go, oh, hold on just a minute. Here, let me change the bill.
yes,
Okay, and added 2 more zeros. Okay, there you go.
if you've had a go yourself, it's X amount.
Yeah.
That's it. All right, so you've got a bunch of cars in your garage. Your wife Helen's got to be very understanding.
Well, I met Helen through drag racing, so yeah,
Okay.
I'm starting to build. I've collected most of the bits to build Helen a new drag car. It's a '68 Barracuda. I've got a spare Hemi block and some heads, so it's probably going to end up with a Hemi in it. It's going to be a full tube chassis car. Believe it or not, there was a '68 Barracuda body on Facebook Marketplace for £1,500
Wow.
with all the doors, the bonnet,
And that was in the UK.
in the UK. Yeah.
Wow.
So what
Yeah,
was she
I was
doing at race car events? I mean, how did you meet her at race car event? Get her in here and we'll talk about it. And if not,
Well, I can see her. She's walking the dog. She's about an eighth of a mile away at the moment.
Oh, yeah, that's
okay.
not going to work. Okay.
That's not going to work. Okay,
She's a
so
winner.
explain how she was connected with drag racing and how you met her through that.
She used to race her old car.
Oh.
She's got a Beetle with a 2.1 engine in it, a 2110, and she used to drag race it. There's a Volkswagen drag race club over here, and she raced it in that, and she's raced it in Belgium and all over the place. I don't know whether you have the same thing over there. There's always been a sort of strange divide between the Volkswagen guys and the hot rod guys. And do you get that over there?
Yeah, we do, but see, I'm bilingual when it comes to cars, and it didn't matter to me. If I loved it, it had four wheels. It's a car. The premise is the same. Hot rodding is hot rodding, regardless of what the base car is. So I hot rodded what I could. I mean, we talked. I even hot rodded. I had a Morris Traveler. I had a couple of those. They were hot rodded as well. I couldn't leave anything alone. But not quite as extensive as you. Obviously, I don't have those kind of skills or patience to do things
I
like
have
that.
a tendency to get carried away.
Yeah, well, yeah, I got carried away as far as my dollar or my money would take me, and whatever could bolt on or stuff, or have friends that were skilled, and we'd work together on something. Because back when I was younger, that's what it was. You had a bunch of friends, and you all worked on on everyone's car. And if you came up with an idea, and one of the guys goes, "Yeah, that'd be interesting," and it would happen. And I can remember a buddy had a body shop, and we did all the body work in his shop, and he taught me a whole lot of stuff to do and how to do it, and it was great. But I had to change an engine in a car, not that one. That was easy. But we had a engine swap party, and I said, okay, I'm going to barbecue lunch. We got to do this engine swap. And 10 guys came over. We had the engine changed in 2 hours.
Nice.
And we didn't finish. I mean, we had the engine in there, and it wasn't totally hooked up. My, at the time, 10-year-old or 11-year-old son hooked everything up and got it running. I go, all right, this kid's cool.
Taught him
Little
well.
DNA going there, I think.
Yeah, a little bit. It passed his brother, but the younger one got it, and now he's the car crazy guy. He's got a COE or cab over truck. I think you call them low cab forward, I believe, over there. 1956 Ford cab over, and that's his project right now.
So where did the name of the VW bus dragster come from? Mental breakdown.
Breakdown. Well, unusually, I didn't name it. I name all my cars. And when I started building it, I said to a friend, I'm going to build this VW truck, which I kind of ended up with. It was absolute scrap originally. And I said, I'm going to do it in the style of a recovery truck, or a breakdown truck. which is why it's got the flashing light on the roof and a little hook on the back and all that. He said, that'll be mental. You should call it mental breakdown. So that, and it was as simple as that.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
Now, descriptions though vary from U.S.
Yeah, yeah,
to Britain. Recovery truck we call just tow trucks,
yeah.
Right.
Tow trucks.
Right.
right? And you've got the side panel on that. It looks like the wing could be the lifting
Yeah.
mechanism on the back.
That's it. So there's a cable that goes around the puke tank, which is, I don't know whether you noticed, it's got a handle on it and it's all ribbed like an old style winch.
Okay.
Okay.
And the cable goes up over the frame for the wing. There's a pulley on the top of that, and there's a little purple hook that hangs on the back.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Well, the hook was missing. I'd had it all in bits, so I hadn't got around to putting it back on before Dragstalgia, but it'll be going on soon again.
Yeah, that like I said, we looked at the chassis and your workmanship is amazing. It's SFI approved, like you said, which means, man, every bar is in the right place and it's structurally sound. The only thing that's not structurally sound is the driver to an extent. You can sit all the way up front.
There was an article written about you that I saw, and it was they were just amazed at the idea that, you know, this is one guy in a shop and he turns out such great work. I don't believe the word mad scientist was used, but you know, the kind of genius label and all that.
No, not at all. Just too daft to stop. That's the
That's
Yeah,
really
but
cool.
your skill level is something that would rival many of the pro builders that I've seen here. Whether it's the sheet metal work that you found out, the paint work. I mean, you do everything. Here we have guys that can do the chassis or they can do the body work, but they can't do the paint or they can't do the chassis. They're specialized in one thing. You even have some of our pros that have TV shows. They can do one thing. They have to have a full crew to do what you're doing on your own.
but it does take me a lot longer.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, I imagine it
Yeah,
does because you
probably.
haven't got multiple people working on something. But you know, I could imagine a TV show in the UK of the one man shop, and that would be you doing everything. Now that you wouldn't necessarily finish a car in the length of an hour TV show, but what you could show and how you could explain what you're doing would be far greater than anyone else that I have seen currently on a TV show that builds cars. Because
We could call the name of the show One Man Band.
yeah,
Maybe, but the car scene is very different here to in America. It seems that people don't want to spend as much money on, you know, we don't have like £1 million show cars or anything like that. You know, everything is screwed right down to a budget. It's a very hard way to make a living, you know, because it's a very physical way to make a living. The hours are long. It's I mean, I only do it because I love doing it. I'm not doing it for the money at all, because I'd be if I was that sort of person, I'd be doing something else.
yeah. Helen, did you hear that? He's not doing it for the money.
Oh,
But
I told her about that right at the beginning. She
yeah,
knew about that.
but
I
yeah,
think
but
she probably has figured that out by now.
yeah, but the fact that you love what you're doing
Mhm.
is something that many people don't get to do. They do something because they need
Yeah.
to, not because they love what they're doing.
No, you can. I think you can either make a lot of money and be unhappy in your work, which a lot of people are, or you can do something you love and not really worry about the money. As long as, you know, we make enough to get by, then it's all good.
We always like to talk about the list of cars that you want someday. People always have a list of cars that would be fun, anywhere from 2 cars to 20 cars, somewhere in between. It's like, I have this, and this, but one day on my list of something I want is this, and this. Do you have a list? And what would be the car if you had the opportunity to get? Give me a car or 3 that maybe you would like to get if money weren't necessarily an object.
Oh, that's a difficult one, because most of the things that I want to build rather than, you know,
Okay. What would you like to build?
Well, I've got a 38 Lincoln Zephyr, which I'm building next. It was meant to be a secret, but I'm going to attempt to build it for Bonneville because we're so close to Bonneville over here in England.
Oh yeah, sure. Mhm. Yeah,
Lincoln's float, right?
yeah. Just flip it upside down.
I mean, those Lincolns were really, I don't know what is swept back
Swoopy.
or whatever. Yeah, real.
Teardrop shaped and
Yeah.
Art Deco and so on.
Yeah,
It's-
at this last year at the Grand National Roadster Show, they had a whole section of Zephyrs. They probably had about 15 or
Yeah,
20 of
saw-
them, and they look like a custom car in stock form. They just sit
Yeah.
too high stock, but
Right,
you
yeah.
you lower it down. That's all you need to do, and it looks like a custom car.
Mhm.
I've just thought of something that I would like, a 47 or 53 Suburban. Chevy
Ah,
Suburban. I
Yeah.
like that.
yeah, that'd be interesting.
So now we did a vehicle here in the U.S. that was kind of an homage to that. We called it the HHR, the
Yeah.
Heritage High Roof, and I drive a panel version of that every day. As close as I've gotten to a sedan delivery that I can afford.
And it's English sized because it's a lot
Yeah, it's
smaller than the
small.
ones we remember. I mean, it's
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It looks like a shrunk panel
Mhm.
from the late 40s, early 50s.
Well, guys, I think look at the time. I think that'll do it for this edition of the show. That brings to a close another "This Isn't Going to Win Any Awards" version of the Talking About Cars podcast. Wayne, thank you, sir, for joining us, and thank you out there for watching the episode. We've had some fun car stories. We've got to relate a little bit to cars in his neck of the woods and our neck of the woods. And if you guys like today's show, how about giving us a thumbs up on YouTube? Follow us on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and again, for more episodes ahead, for Hot Rod Bob in California, of course, for Wayne in the UK, and myself here at our Two Tired Guys studios in Washington State. I'm Randy Cardoon. We'll see you next time on our next Talking About Cars podcast. So long, everybody.
Here.
Oh.
All right, wait.